Okay, hello everyone. This is my first YouTube video. I haven't given it a name yet. Maybe learn the law in 5 minutes. I'll come up with something a little more trendy, but this is my first video. I'm working with my beautiful daughter, Maya, who is my graphic designer, and we're going to see how this works. So this is video one. It is a video on the exclusion of evidence in Canadian criminal law. The case is called Regina and Collins. Her name was Ruby Collins, and I'll set the scene for you. This took place in Gibbons, British Columbia. The RCMP got a phone call to come and help them in the town because Gibbons had a little heroin problem, apparently. Here is my picture of the heroin problem that they had. ChatGDP wouldn't let me do actual heroin, so I came up with this picture. Anyway, so the RCMP get a call. They have a heroin problem in Gibbons, BC, and they go to the Ritz Hotel. And at the Ritz Hotel, they see Ruby Collins in the bar. She is minding her own business. She's sitting down at a table. I should tell you that earlier in the day they had arrested her husband and he had uh, heroin found on him, but they had no suspicion or they had no grounds to believe she had any heroin on her. She was minding her own business. She's sitting down at the bar, and along comes the officer and he grabs her throat. So he has nothing to believe she's committed a crime, grabs her throat. Well, surprise, surprise. I'm going to skip that one. Out of her mouth pops a balloon full of heroin. Police got lucky. They had no grounds to believe she had heroin in her mouth. And there she is with heroin in her mouth. So the Canadian courts were faced with a real dilemma. What do we do here? Do we throw out the evidence? The police didn't have grounds to arrest her. We had this was 1987, so there was a charter now. We have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms. We have the right not to be searched without the police having grounds to search us or arrest us. Do we throw out the evidence? Prior to the charter, evidence was very rarely thrown out for police misconduct. It's real. Um, Without the evidence, the person's going to be found not guilty. And the court was faced with a real dilemma here. The trial judge applied the old Canadian law and didn't exclude the evidence. And the Supreme Court of Canada said, no, 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 no. We need to really look at whether we should exclude the evidence based on the wording of the charter and what we call the ratio of the court. And what the court said was this, and I'll use my judge's voice, although I don't recall which justice actually said these words. It may have been a female justice, but we'll use the old man judge, and this is what he had to say. The evidence obtained as a result of the search was real evidence, and while prejudicial to the accused, as evidence tendered by the Crown usually is, there is nothing to suggest that its use at trial would render the trial unfair. Anyways, I'm going to stop the voice. In addition, it is true that the cost of excluding the evidence would be high. Someone who was found guilty at trial of a serious offense will evade a finding of guilt. Such a result would bring the administration of justice into disrepute, or could. However, the administration of justice would be brought into greater disrepute, at least in my respectful view, if this court did not exclude the evidence and dissociate itself from the conduct of the police. They go on to talk about how the conduct here was flagrant and a violation of the rights. Indeed, we cannot accept that police officers taking flying tackles at people and seizing them by the throat when they do not have reasonable and probable grounds for believing that those people actually have any drugs in them. So that's the ratio of the case, and it was really a landmark decision because now courts had a tool to throw out evidence that was improperly obtained by police, and this wasn't to punish police. This was to preserve the integrity of the justice system. When the law says you can't search someone unless you have A, B, C, and the police don't have A, B, and C, then what do? Right? If you keep allowing them to search without having the grounds to do so, you're kind of bypassing what the law has to say, and that's important. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. It will get better. It's our first one, but thank you for listening.